and welcome back to the lab. This is a new edition of Dr. Harry's Scary Horror Review. Today we're going to take a look at the movie VHS. VHS is an anthology-style horror movie. It has a total of 6 stories, or you could say 5 stories that are wrapped together with one framing narrative. Anthology with each individual story is reminiscent of classics like Creepshow or Tales from the Dark Side, Tales from the Hood, or my personal favorite, the more recent Trick or Treat. Each of the individual segments of VHS are directed by an individual director that includes the framing narrative, which is its own story called Tape 56. Each of the segments share one common bond, and that's that each of the segments were supposed to have been found on VHS quality tape, supposedly filmed all on camcorder. This is a neat concept, and I like what they tried here, but there's a few inconsistencies and flaws that I find within this technique. The biggest and most glaring flaw that I find with using the found footage VHS tape method is that each of the directors tried to show flaw within the videotape, such as what those of us that remember heavy camcorder use can recall, such as if somebody had retaped over a tape that already had existing footage, if they stopped recording and shortly after resumed, it may show a clip or a small second of what was previously on the tape. Good try, but when a lot of your glitches throughout the film show pixelated, digitized pattern, that doesn't make any sense. Why would there be patterned, digitized pixels on VHS camcorder tape? Is that supposed to mean that someone recorded it using more modern technology and then had it transferred to VHS tape? Come on, it's 2013. Each of the different segments in VHS also give you a different taste of several different genres within horror. They're not all the same. You may get a taste of a monster movie or a haunted house, a slasher. It has a little bit of everything there, and I think there's a lot of things that most viewers will enjoy. You have to take at least something away from it, I figure. But let's take a look at the different segments. The individual segments of VHS are all encapsulated by the framing narrative, which is a story called Tape 56, directed by Adam Wingard. In this story, you see a small group of guys that run around and videotape themselves committing crimes. The very first thing they do is they sexually assault a woman. They run up to a young couple that are walking hand in hand. They grab the woman and lift her shirt up to videotape it to sell as reality porn. These guys go on, and you see they destroy a small building with a lot of vandalism, just tearing things up. It reminded me a lot of the old droogies from A Clockwork Orange. They continue on, and this young group of guys get offered a job, and that job is to break into a house and steal an old VHS tape. This is where the following segments, the other 5 stories in the movie, take place. It's from these guys watching the VHS tapes and seeing the story that's on there. The first segment that takes place within Tape 56 is Amateur Night. It's directed by David Bruckner. I think it's one of the strong points in VHS. I can't tell you too much about the plot without giving away the entire story, but it's about 3 guys that go out on the night to have a good time and hopefully have a really great evening. They've got a hidden camera within one character's eyeglasses. Again, technology that didn't exist back when camcorders were being used, but still a good story. The second segment we see is called Second Honeymoon. Second Honeymoon is directed by Ty West, who you've probably heard me mention before. He's probably my favorite up-and-coming director, and the guy really knows horror. The Second Honeymoon is also it's a decent clip. So Second Honeymoon, like everything Ty West touches, really delivers. It's a good clip. The third segment that we see within tape 56 is called Tuesday the 17th. Tuesday the 17th, obviously a play on Friday the 13th, was directed by Glenn McQuaid. Glenn McQuaid is usually credited as working with, he's a title designer most of the time. He's also worked with visual effects. He's worked with Ty West from segment 2 previously. Tuesday the 17th, without trying to be cruel, is not poorly done, but it's definitely the weakest link in VHS. VHS is a good movie, but it tends to run a little bit long at 2 hours. I believe the producer and the rest of the directors, I believe that they would have been better off shortening their movie and leaving it with the best, hardest punches by excluding Tuesday the 17th. Also, the killer within Tuesday the 17th is always blurred out. Every time that the killer comes into frame during this segment, there's a bad camcorder effect, as if the camcorder can't focus on the killer, so it's completely blurry. Although what you can see through the blur, to me, looked exactly like the killer from Cry Wolf. He looked exactly the same. It looked like he had the orange toboggan, and it looked like he had on a hunting jacket and gloves. It looked almost, I can't believe how close he resembled it, even through the blur. I'm not sure if that was intentional. The fourth clip that we see within tape 56 is the sick thing that happened to Emily when she was younger. It was directed by Joe Swanberg, who has co-directed a movie called Autoerotic with Adam Wingard, who was the director of the framing narrative, tape 56, that I keep mentioning. The sick thing that happened to Emily when she was younger, pretty neat, pretty spooky. It reminds me a lot of Paranormal Activity 4. Most of the story, or all of the story, really happens while Skyping. In that regard, I'm not sure which was filmed first, Paranormal Activity 4 or VHS, but one most likely influenced the other, it seemed like. But it's also got its own unique story. It's spooky. It's got some scares. The final clip that we see is called 10/31/98. In other words, October 31st, 1998. I remember Halloween of 1998. I digress. 10/31/98 is directed by Radio Silence, a group of 4 directors. I really like the special effects in this clip. It starts off right from the beginning, basically, with little scares and little hidden things to look for. I like it. Great way to end VHS. So I've examined, diagnosed, and I'm ready to make a prescription for VHS. It's not without flaw. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good film. I thought it was a pleasant surprise. I really enjoyed it. I had a blast watching it, but maybe that's just me. I recommend it. I recommend and prescribe VHS for you. As always, I'm here to examine, diagnose, and prescribe for you what best fits and suit your horror needs. I'm Dr. Harry. Until next time, I'll see you back here in the lab. The doctor is out.